So this will be part 5 of the ancestors. So initially I thought that I would make one more video for this series, but I'll probably have to make 2 or 3 more in order to properly explain all of this. So what I want to focus on in this video are the different types of stars and their relation to the different types of blood. So essentially I want to show you how our blood types are connected to the star types. So there are essentially 7 main types of stars, and they are O, B, A, F, G, K, and M. So this diagram gives you an idea of how stars are classified according to their elements that they absorb, along with their temperature. So when it comes to the blood running through our veins, most people are familiar with the 3 main blood types, O, B, and A. But there are also less familiar blood groups known as F, G, K, and M. So this means the star types and blood types are both classified using the same 7 letters, O, B, A, F, G, K, and M. So let's start with blood type and star type O. When it comes to type O blood on Earth, it's actually the most common. About 45% of people in America have this blood type, but when it comes to type O stars, they are particularly rare. And type O stars are extremely bright, and 4 of the brightest stars in the sky are type O stars. So now moving forward to type B blood. 11% of the world's population has type B blood. And when it comes to type B stars, they are hydrogen-burning stars with anywhere from 2 to 16 times the mass of our sun. So now moving forward to blood type A. About 40% of the world's population fall into the A positive or A negative blood group. And when it comes to type A stars, they are considered dwarf stars. And 20 out of 30 of the stars that are nearest to Earth are considered dwarf stars. So just like there are an abundance of people on Earth with blood type A, there are also an abundance of stars that are classified as type A stars. So now moving on to the F blood type. The F antigen is a compound antigen found in the Rh blood group system. And when it comes to the F-type star, these stars are anywhere from 1 to 1.4 times the mass of our sun. So now for the G-type blood group. So G is another antigen that comes from the Rh blood group system. And when it comes to G-type stars, they are main sequence stars, and they are classified as G dwarf stars or simply as yellow dwarf stars. So now moving on to the K blood group. K is known as the Kell antigen, and it's an important antigen when determining someone's blood type. And when it comes to the K-type stars are also referred to as Goldilocks stars because scientists believe that they emit enough UV radiation that provides the perfect temperature for water to exist on any surrounding planets. And they are said to be more stable than our sun. So last but not least, we have the M blood group system. And the M, or as it's also called the MNS blood group system, is based on 2 genes, glycophorin A and glycophorin B. And there are currently 46 antigens in this system, with the most important being antigen M. And when it comes to M-type stars, the M class has the most number of stars compared to any other type, and all red dwarf stars are considered type M stars. And 90% of all stars are red dwarf stars that are categorized as M-type stars. So your blood type is determined by the presence or absence of antigens found in the blood, as well as the antibodies present in plasma. And if you look at what an antibody looks like, they actually not only look like a star, but they also resemble the human body as well. And it's also a well-known fact that all of the elements that make up the human body were first formed in the stars, long before your body was ever formed. And your body may have a certain age or a certain earthly expiration date, but everything on the inside of you formed millions of years ago. So in that sense, we are ancient. And of course, you could do a much deeper, in-depth study of this by showing the personality traits and habits and life cycle of people with type O blood, for example. And you could compare that to the traits and life cycle of type O stars and so forth, because there's much more to learn about this topic. However, I just wanted to show you guys the basic elements needed to begin the process of understanding our connection to the stars. So many of you guys are already aware of the fact that the Bible calls Jesus the bridegroom, and then the bridegroom is called the sun. And Jesus is also referred to as the bright and morning star. And at the top right, you'll see one of the oldest depictions of Jesus, and he's sitting on a throne in the middle of the 12 disciples or 12 constellations, and his head is that of the sun. Or like this one, we see him in the center of all of the constellations. And Jesus of the Bible isn't the only figure in history to have died and risen again on the third day. The Viking warriors documented that they were fierce warriors that didn't fear death because when they die, they simply rise again on the third day. Then we have Horus of Egypt, long before Jesus. And then we have Moktutu and Moctezuma of America, Mithra, Krishna, and many others who have all been equated with the death and resurrection on the third day. And the so-called death of the Christ-like figure refers to the sun during the winter solstice. And solstice simply means to stand still. So during the solstice, the sun stands still for 3 days, and on the third day, he rises again. So this cycle of the sun was also used to refer to the cycle of the righteous soul, who upon his death rises again on the third day, just like the sun. So it's a well-known fact that all life on Earth is dependent upon the sun. But most people don't consider the role that the sun plays in our birthing process. So the sun travels around all of the constellations, and when you were born, the sun was in your sign. That means that the moment that every single human being was born, in that very moment of your birth, the sun was present in your sign. And this proves to us that we as people on earth are not only dependent upon the sun to live on earth, but our very soul is dependent upon the sun in order to be born into our earthly bodies. So another important aspect of our lives that connects our earthly bodies to our celestial body is the dream realm that we enter when we go to sleep. Just like the sun seems to disappear at night, but in actuality is only reappearing in another location upon the earth. We, like the sun, when we go down at night, we enter into the dream realm. And in this dream state, we can connect to our celestial bodies. We can travel all of time and space. And unfortunately, many people don't remember their time in the dream realm, even though we spend about 1/3 of our entire lifetime in the dream state. When we wake up, much of it is forgotten. So I'll end this video by showing you the oldest star known to exist. They've given it the name Methuselah. And this star is so important because it's said to be older than the universe itself. And if that's true, then that means that this particular star would be older than all of the other planets, all the stars, and all of the celestial bodies, even the universe itself.